I'm probably with a lot of people at the moment. When I first heard about the deal, when I said Universal Music Group, I thought it was terrible, to be honest. I was like, that's an outdated business model. I didn't really, just first thought about it, I just thought it wasn't a great business. I thought probably a dying business going forward. But then I didn't really consider the streaming aspect of it, really, and how valuable the catalogue of the rights that they own. So even things back to the Beatles and Queen, there's a lot of long-term value going into it. So I think each deal they make, they hold the rights for 95 years for that artist. So of course, it's hard to judge whether the artists that they own now will be similar to the Beatles. Like that value was so great for a long time. Whereas someone like, I don't know, Justin Bieber or J. Cole, I think they have Taylor Swift maybe too.
Yep.
I'm not as positive that that music will be as valuable in 40, 50 years' time. But regardless, it's going to have some value for a long period. But the company, I quickly realized as I started to see more details about it. So if you go to the Vivendi annual reports, though they've been the 80% holder in the company, I think, they have some information about how fast the company's growing. And that's where it started to seem pretty great. So their margins have improved. So EBITDA margin has improved from 12% to 18 or 19% even in the past 5 years. So there's some operating leverage kind of kicking in there. They also have compounded that operating income EBITDA at 20 or 21%, I believe. So a high growing company with great margins that is now 50 or over 50% coming from streaming services, which is why the margins are improving over time.
I was really
And
surprised to see those streaming numbers, just the growth.
yeah, I was too.
I was just kind of in the same boat that it seems kind of like a weird, like it seems like a legacy company more than anything. But no, they're growing, and it was surprising.
And there's also that extra revenue coming in from things like TikTok now, which
Right.
also are paying for these music rights. That, of course, that's a platform perfectly designed to benefit someone like Universal. And essentially, he paid 21 times EBITDA as the multiple for the business, which is slightly more expensive than what Tencent paid recently. But regardless, I think that is still a very cheap multiple. So the best comparison is Warner Music Group, which trades currently at about 20 times as well, but is a much lower quality business. Even if you look at the types of artists that they own, there's not as many of the best artists in the world and the most popular streaming on Spotify and everything like that. They also aren't growing as much. They also don't have as good margins. And there's some corporate governance issues as well. So they have a controlling interest in there. So not as valuable to shareholders. So from those reasons alone, you would think that UMG should be worth a higher multiple. How much higher is hard to tell. There's people that have started to make comparisons to something like a Netflix, which I personally don't think is fair. But if you can kind of meet somewhere in the middle between a Warner Music Group and a Netflix, you would have a multiple closer to about 30 times EBITDA, which implies he's got about a 33% discount to what it should be worth. And if these margins continue to improve, streaming numbers keep picking up, I think it could be worth a hell of a lot more than that over the long term.